Okay, one more Fragarama Fearless Q&A. We had really good questions in that Q&A, and we want to share it with you for the people that couldn't come here far away to Australia. The community would benefit from a lot of questions, and Cam actually is here, and he had a great question and wanted to actually share it with you. So Cam, what's your question, mate?
So I was interested to know, when you're repeating testing on the same sample, what your reliability is between tests on your trace elements.
Yes, so that's a great question. It's you described the robustness of the method. Okay, so normally you actually look at a percentage rate. Okay, so when you look at it, you have like repeated tests that you run, like always the same tests, and then you look at the results and look at the difference between them, and then you
deviation.
Exactly, and then you look at the RSD, the relative deviation between them, and that's a percentage amount, right?
Yes.
But in reef keeping, that percentage amount is not very useful, like it's not fit for purpose, right? So what we look at in Triton's method is the realistic deviation, so the real milligram per liter, or what is really deviating from that amount that we look for.
Yes.
So, and that's much more important for trace elements. That's really good because an ICP is made to measure trace elements, right? So it's not really made for magnesium and that stuff, but in traces, yes, but not in high amounts. So then I can explain that in another video if you want to. But mainly when you look at macro elements, you will have 1% deviation, right? Like 1 to 2%. So, but 1% deviation in 10,000 milligrams sodium is already 100 milligram, which is a lot, right?
Yes.
So if you want have 100 milligram on calcium, wouldn't be usable anymore, right? So for calcium, that 1% will be like 4 or 5 milligram, right? Potassium the same. Magnesium is the worst. That's kind of 17 milligram. So it's a bit more deviation that you have normally, and you can't really do anything about it. Like you can't get the method better. It will always have that deviation, In trace elements, the deviation percentage-wise is much higher, but the real value, because it's a trace element, is much lower. So it's much better usable, right? So when you look at phosphorus, for example, you sometimes have 100%, while that's like 1 ppb or 2 ppb, right? So there will be 1 ppb or 2 ppb deviation, plus minus, which is absolutely usable, right? And that counts for a lot of the trace elements, even the really bad ones, right? Some of them are hard to measure. Things like iodine are having a higher deviation, also a very high LOD for a trace element, but it's just because it's a halogen. Like fluoride is not measurable at all with ICP. Tin is something that is very gluey, for example, right? So you will end up having problems there because it sticks to the to the vial, and then you can't. There's solutions around it, obviously. But so if you look at the important ones, our system is pretty much, and our method is pretty much made to work with them. That's also where the success is coming from. I mean, if we wouldn't, we wouldn't be here if that wouldn't work. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the thing. But I'm very happy. I will actually do another series on everything we use in the lab and run people through this also in depth. If you have questions, just write them down here, and I will make a video about it. And I'll show you in the lab. But that's actually the answer on it. Is there anything else I can do for you, man?
Yes, so
one more.
Kind of flowing on from that. If we're looking at dosing like your kind of major trace elements like manganese, iodine,
vanadium, zinc, the four good ones to start with.
So you're getting your ICP test and it's saying to dose 100 mils or whatever. Big system, but
that's a really big system.
Do you have to? Can you mix them together, or are they volatile with each other and are going to react? And then do you have to then kind of work out a titration dose and like mix them all in?
That's a really good question. Actually solved. There was a lot of work. We have a calculator online.
Okay.
So you go. I'll actually share the link down here. You go on there and then it will tell you. So you add your amounts to it and just your data, whichever we give you on the ICP test, and then it will tell you exactly how to mix that one bottle. Okay. So you want one mixed bottle for yourself, like an individual solution.
Like rather than buying a whole nother.
That's perfect.
Dosing
yes, we have that sorted. So you look it up. It's really useful. It took quite a while because of that. The mixing issue, right? It will get like maybe a liter of water or something. In a big system, maybe 2, right? So to make sure that they're not reacting with each other. But then you can use one dosing pump and just dose it. I would go like for a month.
Yep.
And then test again. Like I wouldn't use that for a year.
Doesn't degrade over that time.
No, it doesn't degrade, but there will be changes in your aquarium.
Okay.
So I don't want I wouldn't want that to.
Fixed ratio.
Yeah. This is a fixed ratio. It doesn't work really over a long time. Like not over a year. Like maybe 3 months would be the maximum, I would say.
Okay. Cool.
Anything else, man?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you a lot,
Thank you.
mate. See you then.
Cheers.
Bye bye.